All right, so this lesson is on the blend tool. It's an interesting tool because when I was going to school, I didn't realize that this tool was available to me. And I used to see people do some stuff that I thought, wow, how do they take the time to do all of that? And then I realized, hey, there's this tool that actually does this. All right, here we go. I'm going to create a line or a path here. Okay, I'm going to click off of it and I'm going to duplicate that path, and I could just create a separate one. I'm just going to duplicate it to save myself some time. All right, and then I'm going to select both of these paths, and this is the blend tool here. If we click on this blend tool, I'm going to go ahead and click on one. I notice there's an X, that means that I'm on it. And then I'm going to go to the next one. I notice a plus sign, and that means that I'm also on it. And then what it does is it creates steps in between. Now you might already have it set to default like one step in between or whatever. If you double click this here, you can change the number of specified steps. So if I change this to 20 and I'm going to hit the preview button, you'll notice that this changes here. And if I want less, I can do 5 and I can hit the preview button and you can see it change. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change this to 20. Okay, and then I'm going to hit OK. All right. Now I used to think that people would take the time to copy paste, and then equally space this, and I just thought, wow, that's a lot of time. But there's actually this tool, and so what I thought was really neat is that I see like these screensavers that utilize this, and I like the fact that now I know how I could create this. So you'll sometimes see screensavers that kind of look like this, and they might have a blend mode applied to this to kind of blend this in. I'm going to try overlay, see what happens. You know, something like this, and that's like the back of a screensaver. Okay, so with this blend tool, I'm going to go ahead and return this back to normal. What you can also do is if you select the path here, this blended path, it automatically selects everything. It selects this last one and this first one and everything in between, and they're not separate, they're together. So if you want to just affect one, you have to actually grab your direct select tool. So I'm going to grab my direct select tool, and then I can select just this one here. Notice this doesn't allow me to grab anything in between, it just allows me to grab the outer edges. So I'm going to grab this one, and I can affect this one. I can change its color. I'm going to change it to something more dramatic so we can see it. You'll notice that it's red. I'm going to click off of it. It's red, and because the other one was blue, it gradates, and it kind of changes all the in-between colors. Okay, so you could do that. You could actually even change the transparency of this one. You could make it, gotta select it correctly. All right, you can change it to where it's, let's go to 20%, and you notice it's lighter now. So it gradates from a light transparency to the 100 transparency that this blue was to begin with. Okay, so to affect those, you'd have to grab the actual endpoint. You can also affect not only the color and the transparency, you could actually affect the line. So you could take existing points. Oops, I gotta click on it. Take existing points or handles and shape them and change them. You can move the points around. Okay, you could add new points with your pen tool to make this a little bit more wrinkly in this kind of flag effect here. Okay, and basically the way that it works is you can change the endpoints to do anything that you want. Now if you get to a point where you like the way they are, but say that you want a gap in here for some reason, like to place text in there, you cannot select and just delete these the way it is. You would need to do is, if you wanted to do that, you would have to expand the appearance by going to Object, Expand, and then just leave all these settings here. It's basically going to expand everything that's within it. We're going to hit OK. And what you'll notice is that if I click on it, they're still grouped together. When you expand the appearance by default, it groups everything. So I'm going to go ahead and right click, and I'm going to ungroup. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and click off of it. And now I should be able to select just whatever area I want, or whatever line or path I want. And I could delete that one, and I could delete, say, this one here. Then I could add text in here if I wanted to. Okay, so say for instance I wanted that effect. Okay, so this is with the line tool. You could also do this with shapes. I'm going to go ahead and grab this and move it. Okay, I'm going to grab a shape, and then I'm going to grab another shape here, and then I'll even grab a different shape over here so that you can see how it transitions. And I'm going to grab all of these. I'm holding down Shift to select them. going to my blend tool. I'm clicking on one. I wait for that X. I click on the other one. I wait for that plus sign. I click on that other one. I click on that plus sign. And you'll notice is that it transitions from here to here. It just creates all the in-between steps. But from here to here, it's kind of blending the square to a more rounded to an oval. Okay. And you could also fill these with color or change the color. I'm going to go ahead and just fill these with color. All right. And I'm going to remove the outline if it allows me to. All right. I'm going to have to do this on its own. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to remove the outline. And then there's another one in here. Okay. And I'm going to change the color. And so I have to get the direct select tool so that I can only select this one here. And I'm going to go ahead and select a different color so that it's apparent. And you can see the gradation happening. Now it's just doing it from here to here. If I wanted to change something from here to here, I could actually do something different here so that it's apparent. Okay. And again, to change the settings for it, all you would need to do is go to the blend tool, double click, and then go ahead and change this number of specified steps. Okay. So once you have this, if you wanted, you could also go ahead and add blend modes, and then it's going to apply with the background. Okay. Some of these are uglier or prettier than others. You could also affect the opacity of them. Okay, so that they interact differently. All right, this pretty much covers your blend tool. If you have any questions, iled@hawaii.edu or 808-343-9565.